Hey everybody, what's going on? I'm JV, and welcome to another episode of The Lowdown. Thanks for anybody that's watching. Appreciate the support. Just something I've been doing for fun, I love podcasts. I love creating content. Love talking about everything I'm talking about. So, thought I might as well do it. Thank you if you watch. I got a juicy episode today, as you can probably tell by the title. Talking about one of my favorite, probably one of the greatest series of all time, Shrek, and we'll get to that. But first, gotta go through a little weekly run through. First up, what am I playing? I've been playing a lot of Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War. If you watched last episode, I talked about it, and I kind of said that there were some things that I felt were holding the game back and made it a little bit frustrating. While I still think there are some problems with the multiplayer and some things that, I think it's a lot of times just the way the game is made creates this kind of really slow game flow and kind of promotes camping and slow gameplay. They kind of make the game frustrating and hard to play. I think they have tweaked some stuff that I was kind of eked about. Plus, with the addition of Nuketown, classic, one of the greatest maps of all time, I think it's gotten actually a little bit better. Been having some more fun, been having better games, and that definitely helps. And the zombies still feels great. The double XP this week really helped with that. I feel like zombies definitely, they have said it does, but it has this weighed weapon XP and just general XP that kind of makes you kind of feel cheated, but definitely I do think they have done some stuff to make it better. I've also been playing Fuser. If you haven't heard of Fuser, it did not get much buzz, even though it was made by Harmonix. They're responsible for Rock Band, Dance Central, great sound, rhythm dance music games. And it's a DJ game where pretty much you have a bunch of selected tracks and you can actually mix them like a DJ. And it's actually so much fun. I've been having a lot of fun just whether it's trying to create like one little mix of, taking a bunch of songs together and making a new song, or if it's kind of just, going into freestyle and playing like a DJ and just kind of, building up and slowing down. It's actually really fun. Getting to create some really cool songs. The campaign really allows you to not only learn everything, but kind of helps you, pushes you forward to making cool sounds and new mixes. Really enjoying that. If you like music, if you like, I've always kind of wanted, I've always thought, being a DJ would be cool, in kind of the idea of being able to mix songs. It really does allow you to create music. The thing with Rock Band and Guitar Hero and games like that is you're not really, it's kind of giving you the, false idea that you're making music when really you're just playing a song. This one you're actually making music, it feels really cool. Next up for what I am watching, I've been playing a lot of games, and especially when I play Fuser, I'm not also watching something else. That'd be way too much noise. And God, I haven't really been watching that many. I haven't really been in a TV show lately or a movie, but the only thing I can say I have been watching is with my family. We've been kind of watching some old seasons of Survivor. I think there's 2 seasons on Netflix, and from the list we've looked at, those 2 seasons are popularly ranked as the best 2. And we watched the first best, now we're watching the second best, and we watched a season that was also highly acclaimed. It's a great show. I used to watch it a lot when I was younger, on TV, and there's, I think for me, the reason I kind of fell out of it is, one, watching that week to week break is, so tough with a show like that, because you get this huge decision that you immediately want to see the effects of when they vote somebody out. And that week to week basis kind of kills it. So binging has actually been great for it, because immediately you go into the next one and the next one. And I also, I kind of just will come down, I'll play a little Xbox and I'll come down, I'll look in the stairs and I'll see if they're doing a challenge, and then I'll kind of just stick for the rest of the episode. But those breaks to breaks when they're talking kind of bores me. I really am there for the challenge, and I'm there for the plot twist at the tribal council. But it's a great show. If you've never seen it, I'd recommend maybe checking it out. It might be up your alley. We did watch a couple episodes from the first and the second season. It plays a lot slower, but gosh, they gave them nothing. It was really an emphasis on surviving the world, where now the game is all about, surviving in the game, not getting voted out. It's, more social than survival. But still, great series. I would love to see how they make that. It's really interesting. Next, what am I listening to? Lots of stuff, but I've been on a huge Billy Joel kick. Billy Joel, amazing. He's a legend. He's great. Couple songs I want to, just recommend. Moving Out, parentheses, Anthony's song. Come on, this song slaps. I've been seeing a couple of people use it on TikTok, which I'm down for. I love to be on the Billy Joel side of TikTok, who doesn't? But it's great. My Life, the amazing piano and that, the vibes and that, I love it. You're Only Human, Second Wind, actually got put onto the song by The Boys on Amazon Prime. If you like superheroes, if you like gore, that show is definitely over-the-top violence, which can kind of get a little too much sometimes, but, if you're into really heavy action and rated R, check that out. But You're Only Human, Second Wind, parentheses, Second Wind. Great song. Love the positive vibes. Awesome music video. Vienna, slow song, but I gotta love it. Added that to the Slow Jams playlist talked about last week. If you didn't see that episode, go check it out. She's Always a Woman. Also added that to Slow Jams playlist. Both 2 songs. I love them both. And The River of Dreams. That song makes me move. I love it. Dancing. Billy Joel is just a master. Didn't even put Piano Man on here because I expect everybody to have Piano Man somewhere on some playlist. It's amazing. But Billy Joel, amazing on the piano. Just got great songs. Really songs that just make you want to sway a little bit. Maybe they make you want to dance. Maybe they make you want to sing along. But gotta love them. Finally, to this week's highlight. The greatest movie series of all time. I'm going to go ahead and say that better than, the Star Wars trilogy. Better than the Marvel Studios anything. I'm talking about Shrek, guys. Come on. I'm a huge fan of Shrek. I have been since I was young. I think I had a Shrek themed birthday party. I love Shrek. Who doesn't like Shrek, Who doesn't like Shrek? Who didn't grow up on Shrek? And especially, if you're watching this, you're probably around my age. There was definitely a point, in middle school where Shrek affected all of our lives in a big, traumatic way, I might say. I don't think I need to get into that, but if you know what I'm talking about, you know what I'm talking about. But, Shrek, so let me get into why I'm talking about Shrek. Let me get into why this weekend I watched 3 Shreks. It's because in school I took a fairy tales class. It's fairy tales in fiction and film, so we go over one type of fairy tale and then we read all these different adaptations of it and see, the different cultural influences, the different themes, the way they handle different ideas. So for the first one was Cinderella. We, of course, read the Brothers Grimm version. We read some other, different cultures and watched a bunch of different versions from, the Hilary Duff one to the Disney one. And, it was a really interesting class. But now we moved on to Beauty and the Beast. So, of course, we read the original Dumont version. And then we watched the Disney one. We watched an actual traditional French one because the story is French. And I was so excited when I saw we were going to watch it. And we finally did. We watched Shrek. If you can't tell, because I never thought about it this way, but it's pretty obvious when someone says it. Shrek is Beauty and the Beast's tale. Of course, flipping it on its head that, Shrek's, of course, this hideous beast and Fiona's this beauty, but at the end, instead of, Shrek becoming this handsome guy, True Love's form is actually her ogre form. That's, their, true love. So it kind of shows that, beauty is in the eye of the beholder. And, I kind of forgot that Shrek is the greatest movie of all time. When I went back and watched it, not only did I forget the amazing soundtrack, but it really does get better with age. Not in that the movie gets better. The animation in the first one is rough. It's, tough. And the references are dated and old. There's Matrix references. There's Robin Hood, Men in Tights references. There's, early, I think it came in 2002. And there's definitely some 2002 references that watching in 2020, I was born in 2002. So watching it, there's definitely some stuff that is dated, but the reason I say it gets better with age is, literally, as you get older, it gets better, because the reference, there's a lot of adult humor in a children's movie, and great adult humor, not just, slapstick, and crude, but actually, like, really smart humor, and stuff that, as a kid, your parents probably laughed at it, and you had no clue why that was funny. It definitely, watching it back, I was like, how did they put this into a kid's movie? Of course, DreamWorks started off by people that, Disney animation, studio, people that left there, created their own studio, and definitely the movie pokes fun at Disney and, corny Disney fairy tales, in a hilarious way. It's aware, it, breaks the fourth wall a little bit, and it's really good, and also a great message and a great theme, a great romance story between Shrek and Fiona. A stellar cast with, Mike Myers, Cameron Diaz, Eddie Murphy. It's, I can't sing its praises enough. Amazing soundtrack with, of course, the track that is synonymous with Shrek, All Star by Smash Mouth. And then I Am a Believer by the cover by Smash Mouth. Two fantastic songs. My Beloved Monster by the Eels. I'm On My Way by the Proclaimers. Hallelujah by Rufus Wainwright. It's just fantastic in just about every single way. But surprisingly, it's not even the best Shrek. The best Shrek is actually Shrek 2, my favorite Shrek. I believe the second movie is always the best, because the first movie establishes everything. It gets the plot, it gets the characters, and the second movie allows them to really flesh out what they started, and to really just do what they want to do in this world they created. So I think, and it definitely does that in a great way. It has The Far, Far Away, which is a, hilarious, play on, Hollywood and Los Angeles. And, the jokes are obvious when they're making fun. They even have, like, a Starbucks joke where at the end, when the giant gingerbread man is going through the city, he, goes for the coffee, and it's, fake, and he throws it on the ground. All the people run out of the Starbucks. It's called something else, but they all run out of it. And then they run across the street into another one. So amazing. I think this one came in 2004. And, the jokes, some of those jokes still hold up. And, of course, still some 2004 references. I think there's a Spider-Man joke where, Shrek's covered in mud and Fiona, wipes the mud away. But it's, again, another more adult humor in that one, too. But it's still hilarious. And just, animation, this one's a little bit better, but it's still great. Another amazing soundtrack, I have to say, with, Accidentally in Love, with the Counting Crows, Holding Out for a Hero with, the Fairy Godmother and that big number. So good. Funky Town, Livin' La Vida Loca, and something that I should have mentioned in, the last one. Shrek does this amazing thing where, I love music, but Shrek does this amazing thing where it brings in songs, actually in, like whether it be from Donkey singing it or, another character playing it, or, in this example, the Fairy Godmother singing it for Holding Out for a Hero, that it, of course, you have to wonder, well, how did they know this song? Does that mean this person exists in this fairy tale world? And it's a kids movie, so they don't really have to explain it. It's just kind of fun. And, you love the songs. It's songs that, sometimes when they don't finish it, you know where they're going. And it really brings you into it. And this one definitely does that. The blend from, one song to another. The blend from the environment creating a song, which Shrek 3 does really well, which I'll talk about next. The movie's fast-paced. It's one of those movies where you don't get bored, which I think is in most children movies, because children have a short attention span, and even as I get older, I do too. So this one, really fun to watch. Shrek 3, which came out in 2007. Another great message in this one. Shrek is actually, it's a kids movie, but the message it gets across are actually fantastic. This one kind of Shrek's fear of, becoming a father, and his, the whole reason he goes on this journey to find, King Arthur, which they do hilariously. The way they bring in fairy tales and the way they bring in these stories and blend them into the world. Amazing job. But the Shrek's, fear of responsibility of not wanting to become king. And then it kind of has this message with King Arthur and his never having a father figure. It's actually really heavy stuff, and it's really good. Well done. And I actually, kind of forgot Justin Timberlake as Arthur. Come on, what doesn't speak 2007 more than, Justin Timberlake in his prime. And yes, I believe Justin Timberlake solo career 10 times better than NSYNC. But really great story, funny stuff. I didn't even remember that, I think it's good they go to Worcestershire, and of course, Worcester from, Boston, so it's like a Boston high school. It's hilarious. I love it. Again, have to say, amazing soundtrack. The way they blend songs, there's a part where Snow White's whistling with the birds, and then to make them attack, she starts singing the beginning of Immigrant Song, and then Barracuda, and what doesn't say more than 2007 than Barracuda, but it's covered by Fergie. Okay, I'm here for it. I love it. Donkey singing Cats in the Cradle, which he sings, once Shrek finds out he's going to become a father, and, that song is perfect for this movie because it's all about, fathers and sons, and, Arthur's lack of, and Shrek's fear of being. Joker and the Thief by Wolfmother. Live and Let Die, when, the king dies. Spoiler alert, but come on, who hasn't seen Shrek? And finally, the fourth Shrek, which I remembered this movie wrong, Shrek Forever After. I definitely saw this, I forgot to look up when it came out, but probably, 2010, around then. And, still, I must have been probably, 10 or 8 or something. But I definitely remember this movie wrong, because it was actually pretty solid. It's fun. It's, I think Shrek, when you watch the first one, when you really think about it, it's kind of a plot that you can, of course, do stuff with, because, he's a lovable character, and, go on fairy tale adventures. But the way they, actually have these really good stories and plots, is surprising for, when I really think about it, something that really doesn't have that much, heft to it. They didn't really set up a amazing sequel. They just kind of established his character that was lovable and that everybody loved, and they kept his lovable nature, and kept it going. And this movie definitely makes you love Shrek again, as Shrek finds love again. If you haven't seen it, Shrek makes a deal with Rumpelstiltskin that pretty much makes it so Shrek never existed, but he lives in a world with all these ogres that are being hunted by Rumpelstiltskin, which, I'll be honest, is a little bit of a plot hole. How did Shrek, it kind of gives off this idea that Shrek's the only ogre, but apparently there's a whole society of them, and I gotta hurry this up. But this is definitely the best animation, but I should also say that there's a lot of thing of Shrek's children in this. Shrek's children are the most hideous creations ever. Whoever made those should be put in jail, because those things are disgusting. Whenever they come up on the screen, if you watch this, hide your eyes. And the more fantastic themes, in this one of, you don't know what you have until you lose it. Another amazing soundtrack. Again, this one really has that emphasis of blending the music to pretty much little small glimpses. But Hello by Lionel Richie's featured in there for a small second. Sure Shot by the Beastie Boys, which I love whenever I see the Beastie Boys. When the Pied Piper is playing it on his flute, which I love. Ends with Right Back Where We Started From. And I'm a Believer by Weezer. This time not by Smash Mouth, but by Weezer. So two amazing bands covering an amazing song. And something I didn't know about this movie when I first watched it, but I can clearly see now, it is there is going to be no Shrek 5. There is talks of a Shrek reboot, which I'm excited about, but this definitely is the finale, and it definitely wraps it all up. The end credits are actually them going through all the movies. So this definitely ties a bow on the Shrek story. A great one too, kind of, it starts off with talking about Shrek's tired of his, the monotony, and, the fatherhood life. But at the end it shows he's in love with it, because he, finds out that, without Fiona, without his kids, that's, what his life's all about. And that he actually, hated this life being alone. Again, amazing story. Great humor in this one, a little more childish, kind of dropped off the adult humor. And I think, overall, this might be one of the weaker ones, but it's still great. And I'm definitely excited, it was a nice way to finish it off, I think. But I'm definitely excited for this Shrek reboot that has been announced. Whether Mike Myers is going to be attached or there's a new Shrek and it's a whole different story. It'll be interesting to see if they just, do the same thing over again with better animation and a different cast, or if, because, I think Mike Myers puts, I'm trying to find the words, but if you've ever seen, Chris Farley was supposed to be the original Shrek, and if you've ever seen those few lines they recorded before his passing, rest in peace, but it's a very, very different character than Mike Myers. So will they bring back another Scottish Shrek, or will he be a different, because that voice can change the character entirely. So I'm really excited to see what they do with that. And I think it'll be really interesting. Are you a fan of Shrek? Let me know in the comments, because I definitely am. If you haven't seen Shrek in a while, I recommend you, especially during this holiday season. It's a great movie to watch with the family, because who doesn't love Shrek? Go back and watch them. That's pretty much it for this episode. Well, thanks for watching. Thanks for the support. Put in the comments what you want to see me do next. And, I gotta go. But, just trying to find the words to end it. Shrek is love. Shrek is life. Thanks for watching.